It's imposter syndrome. So this is a feeling that can plague even the most successful people. But don't worry, because we've got a story that will inspire you and believe in yourself today. One of the things that I want to talk about today is a player that actually came out of nowhere to me last year. He's playing with one of the greatest players of all time, LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about Austin Reaves today. This guy is actually a guy that we can learn a lot from when it comes to imposter syndrome. This is just an incredible story that we can all resonate with, to be honest. Especially being in the NBA, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like imposter syndrome impacts a lot of different people. You especially see imposter syndrome in high competition fields. You see this in professional league, and one of those is the NBA, the WNBA, NFL, any pro league for the most part, major or minor, doesn't really matter. There is definitely possibility that some of these players can be or are experiencing imposter syndrome. So let's talk about Austin Reaves. Like I said, like this dude did not get to where he is, you know, overnight. That's typically how it seems. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw him on the Lakers game last year, you know, because I was looking at LeBron, I was like, who is this out of nowhere coming and helping the king? Who is this? But this dude, like, it seemed like it happened overnight, but it wasn't, y'all. It literally wasn't. Like, he put in work, he put in effort, and you know what I'm saying, the coach saw that and put him in the game, and then LeBron saw that and gave him the ball. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't necessarily do that with everybody. Y'all know, you know, if you've been looking at LeBron for over the years. Overall in his journey, I just wanted to paint the picture of this guy real fast, so that we could break down how you can take his journey right with you. So this dude Austin Reaves, you know, did a basketball player all his life for the most part, like most people are. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like playing ball. He actually, you know, attended school in Arkansas, and he was pretty cold. I mean, he won back-to-back Class 2A state titles the very first 2 years that he was playing ball in high school. That's an amazing accomplishment. That y'all see that point I'm pointing out here? He has accomplished something that many people don't do. Even if it's 2A, 3A, who cares? He won a state title. Not once, but back-to-back champion. Another thing to point out, this dude has done things that many people cannot say they have done. He scored 73 points. 73 points in a high school game, man. And in high school, he, like I said, he was just balling out. To eventually his senior year, he won the state title. In this case for 3A, and you know, he was averaging over 30 points. He was MVP of the tournament. Like, this dude was a baller. Like, he got picked, all-state selection, all that type of stuff. He was a baller. He was great. You know, he had accomplished many things. All this in high school, crazy. And then if you follow his career, he eventually went to Wichita State. All right. So freshman year, he's at Wichita State. And unfortunately, he had to go through some surgery. You know what I'm saying? He had some shoulder issues because something tore. So he had to basically go in surgery for those shoulders. So eventually, he just had to shut it down for the whole year. His sophomore year, still at Wichita State. He got a lot better after the surgery healed. He eventually increased his points per game and his rebounds that second season. And that just shows what? Resilience, right? You have to be resilient in some cases. Because, you know, like I said, this dude's accomplished in high school. This dude is a legit baller. You know what I'm saying? And then not only is he a legit baller, like he looks the part. You know, this dude's 6'5", 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude's balling. Key point of the day, resilience. Dude is resilient. He's not stopping. And that is something to take account of when you're thinking about imposter syndrome. You know, there's a couple of tools that you could use. But I just want to point out one of those tools, and the main tool that I want y'all to take away today is keep going. Because this is a keep going story. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't the end. This is only the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep going and going. You know, if you feel like you have those doubts, just remember those past feats that you have on your resume, man. But anyway, let's get back to Austin. So after his sophomore season, he then transferred to Oklahoma. And he actually had to set out, but he was redshirted. So during that time, he finally got a chance, his opportunity at OU, and boy, did he take that chance. Going into his junior year, he increased his points again. Points, rebounds, just everything was just overall better. And because of that, he was actually a Big 12 all newcomer team. So he made the all newcomer team. That's something that goes down in the Big 12. And during his senior year, he had some, once again, remarkable games. And he really showed out. And during that year, right, they made the NCAA tournament. So that was big for OU. And he really showed out. However, they did lose. Once they got to the second round, who they lose to? They lost to Gonzaga. You can't be mad at that. But he balled out. He got 27 points during that game. And like I said, his senior year, he had increased his points from all the way back from Wichita State to averaging 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists his senior year. And because of that feat, he got the honor of being first team all Big 12. That was huge. You know what I'm saying? So that was very huge senior year. You can see, right, he had improved. He had resilience. He kept going. And he did not let that stop him. You know what I'm saying? Playing around other people who were, you could argue, more accomplished than he was, but he did not let that scare him or stop him. So after that senior year, he declared for the draft. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, like everybody has their own, journey with everything. He was his 42nd pick overall, and Detroit picked him. So he was drafted, but he declined it. So that's the reason why he's undrafted technically. So because of this, he did something a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you know what I'm saying? The two key words, the 2 points I want y'all to take away from the story is resilience. Okay, the resilience. And then also we're going to get to the second point, but resilience. And even at this time where he was like, okay, I'm not really sure about this. So he's going to step away. Why did he step away from Detroit Pistons? Well, if anybody who watches basketball, you know that Detroit was very cold in the early 2000s when you had Rip, Chauncey, Ben Wallace, Rasheed, all them boys. They was cold. They won a national, won the title, everything. However, it's been a different situation since then. So he probably declined it because he just wasn't sure about the Pistons. He was like, he'll take his chances doing something totally different. And then what he decided to do was he decided to sign a 2-way contract with LA, the LA Lakers. You know what I'm saying? And then this leads me to my second key point, or not even my key point, man. I just really got 2 words. I don't want to say points. I got 2 words for you. That's it. The first word we said was resilience. The second word is uphold. Now, Dr. J, why is the second word uphold? Well, stay with me. All right, stay with me, y'all. So, like I said, we looking at this dude's journey because this dude's journey is something a little crazy. So he signed a 2-way contract with LA. He does pretty well. And the reason why I said the second word for specifically this story is uphold is because you got to think about who he's playing with. Who is that man playing with? LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? He's playing with LeBron James. So if you ever heard about LeBron James, what is his nickname? They call him the King. So being in the King's court, what do you have to do? He has to uphold a certain standard. So that happens to us all, right? We get around people with the same accomplishments to a degree as us. So in this case, you around LeBron James, Austin Reaves, right? You're around LeBron James. Both of y'all is playing in the NBA. Don't get it twisted. Both of y'all are in the NBA. Y'all got the same accomplishments. By definition, you're an NBA player and LeBron James is an NBA player. You got the same thing. Y'all the same thing. Please, people, don't go crazy when I say they the same. I'm not saying that they're the same. I'm just saying that they are the same NBA. They're in the NBA. All right, they're both NBA players. Okay. Now, this is what I'm getting at, right? Uphold. If you're around greatness, in that case being LeBron James, you're going to feel this pressure to uphold that greatness. Take it even in your career, right? Once you get in your career, you're new to your career. You're the new person in the office. And then you're around all these other people that has more experience than you. That could be just more talented than you. But it's up to you to uphold, right, that standard. So just like with Austin Reaves, he had a duty to uphold. Playing with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and all them boys in LA. How does that impact you? That can impact you a lot of different ways, right? Because that pressure, right, or those feelings, right, that's where you know what I'm saying? That's where the imposter syndrome or the imposter phenomenon, what I like to call it, starts to creep in and mess with your mind, right? Because this phenomenon, you know, these feelings can lead to our behaviors. You know what I'm saying? So if you let these feelings get to you on a mental level, that can impact your behavior, in this case, in the game. If you let those feelings, and if you feel like you're not good enough to be playing with LeBron James and be on the same team, the same court, on the same side of the equation, right? If you felt that pressure, you could feel like, oh man, this is too much pressure, right? Especially if you perform in one game, they're going to expect you to do what? Perform again. You an NBA player, just like LeBron James. But if you feel like you have these feelings that could potentially impact your behavior, what's going to happen is that behavior is going to impact your potential. And that's the scary thing about imposter phenomenon, y'all, is that it limits your potential. So what happens with Austin Reaves is he don't let imposter phenomenon impact him. And matter of fact, going to the next year in that same season, right, a couple years later, he starts to ball out. Like, he starts to get better and better. So like I said, man, this didn't happen just over, you know, one game, 2 games, even 80 games or one season. This happened over multiple years to where he had to once again uphold and be resilient. As we have to acknowledge the journey of Austin Reaves. This guy was a baller, 2A. However, even as a 2A, he probably felt a little something totally crazy, and let's go ahead and sign with the Lakers. Then after that, we transition to the next word I want y'all to pay attention to, uphold, because now you're around all this greatness, and then you have this pressure, these feelings that are going to creep in and have self-doubt to question whether you should be on the same stage as these other players, even though you're in the same thing. You got the same title, NBA player, but in his head, he's upholding the greatness, which he did and he is continuing to do. Austin Reaves, he had to overcome being undrafted to eventually get a triple-double, big time, and then balling out in the NBA on his way to becoming a star in this league.